Okay, so we're still on the second one, second paper. This is our third video you should be watching now. Okay, so this question is talking about walking around the circle. So we're going around the outside, so that's about the circumference, the perimeter of the circle. So the formula we need is that circumference equals pi times diameter. So the diameter is 80. So all we need to do is pi times by 80. You can stick that into your calculators, but then it says find the distance he walked between one point and the next point. Well, because there are 8 equally spaced points, all we're going to need to do is take our answer and divide it by 8, and that will give you the distance between each one. The second part just tries to get you to think a little bit about the definition of the mean. So mean is equal to the total divided by how many. So in these questions I just asked myself, well, if the spacings change, does it change either one of those things? If it does, then that will change our answer, but if it doesn't, then we won't change it. So our total distance is still going to be the same because they're still walking the complete circle and there's still 8 of them. So you want to be saying, right, there isn't going to be a difference between the two, and then just explain that idea. Pause the video, make any corrections you need to. Now this question, I had to read this a few times. It's really hard to get the wording of this. So we've got blue, yellow and green cubes in a bag. And the reason these questions are really tricky is you often, when you realise, you might just realise, okay, well I don't know the numbers. So like we did in the last paper, we want to call one of them X. But you need to be careful, because if you don't want to call blue X just because it comes first. You need to look and think, okay, well, I always want my X to be the smallest one. Well, I've got more blue, twice as many blue as yellow, and 4 times as many green as blue. So yellow is definitely the smallest. So that's the one I'll call X. So then blue is twice as many, 2 lots of X. And then 4 times as many green as blue. So 4 lots of the blue gives the green. So 4 times 2x is 8x. So then all together I've got 11x in the bag in total, and it says work out the probability that Tanner takes a yellow. So this is 1x, so it's 1 out of 11. 1x out of 11 x's. X's basically cancel, so it's 1 in 11. Hope that helps. Pause the video, make any corrections. On this question, this is quite tricky to do at home without tracing paper, but try and find something see-through maybe, and remember that to do a rotation, you want to stick your paper on top, draw around it, turn your paper all the way around. I always think a little bit about the fact that this shape here is going to be twisting. If I twisted it once, it would be like that. If I twisted it again, it would be like that. So this is going to be that bottom corner there. So just check you've made that right. Vectors, remember the top is always horizontal, and then the bottom number is always vertical. So this tells you for each corner, you want to go back 1 and down 3. A good little tip for this question is to use a different colour for each corner. Back 1, down 3, and then that will help you to see where the shape goes. Pause the video, make any corrections you need to. On this question here, the key thing to remember is when you're timesing, you add your indices, and then when you've got brackets, you multiply your indices. So you've just really got some simple equations to solve. This last one's a bit tricky. It's about realising again that 10, we want to link everything in terms of the tens. So all you really need to realise is that 100 is just 10 squared, and 1,000 is 10 cubed. So then really we've got 10 squared to the power of A plus 10 cubed to the power of B gives me 10 to the W, and then if you just use the rule you used here, multiplying those out, you get the equation you're looking for. 2 more short little questions before the end. To remember to find the area of a trapezium, is not what you're being asked to do. So even though it is a trapezium, you don't need to think about that straight away. The first thing we're looking for is angle CAD. CDA, sorry, so that's this angle here. So in order to do that, we're going to need to use our trigonometry, and we're going to want to think about this triangle here. Well, I know this height is the same as this height, and that's 6. And I know that this length here is going to be your 24 minus that 10, this whole distance. Oh no, not minus 10. Oh, you have to use trigonometry twice.
Pythagoras.
Pythagoras. Hey, Mr. Wassell's filming this. Good thing he's here for us. So what a mean question. You have to use Pythagoras to find this bit here. Remember that this is your long side, so you're squaring that, take away the square of that, gives you that one. And then you do your 24, take away your 10, take away the black bit, gives you the red bit, and then for your trigonometry, you've got your opposite and your adjacent. So you're going to use your tan triangle. And remember, because it's an angle, you're going to use tan to the -1. Pause the video, give it another go, and remember that you will be going through it in your lessons next week. So if you're still not sure, no need to worry. The key to this question is to make sure you're using the square root button and then the button that looks like this to input these as fractions. And then remember to round to 2 decimal places. For example, this number, you would go 1, 2 digits after the decimal, and then you look at that number, makes you round up. So you just need to give your final answer to 2 decimal places. Make those corrections. Hopefully that makes next week's lessons a little bit more meaningful and enjoyable. Take care, all the best. Bye bye.